Whenever I make videos, I kind of get stuck when it comes to making up topics because I know that any advice I give is just going to be affected by my bias, and specifically survivorship bias. And survivorship bias, if you aren't aware, is when you look at all the successful, like you look at a group of successful people and you determine the traits that you think made them successful, all the while ignoring the people that share those same traits and did not become successful, and kind of also ignoring the people that don't have those traits and are still successful. So like you got a great comic book artist that you like a group of them, and they all have great character, great composition, and great color theory. So you think character, composition, color theory, that's what you need to make a great comic. And then you look around the corner and you see someone with shit composition, shit characters, and shit color theory, and like a shit ton of readers. And it kind of, you want to ignore it. You say, well, that's just the outlier. But you can't just say that's the rule, except for every time that it isn't the rule. Because then it's not really a rule set in stone, is it? And that's kind of where I get stuck when I'm trying to come up with like advice and things to talk about. Because I know that anything I say is inherently wrong due to the fact that someone else has gotten into the world of art doing something completely different. Like, I love the fundamentals. I like the idea of designing characters based on like reality, where you start from like a point of reality and you get progressively further and further away. And as much as I like want that to be the case, like I want to start from reality and go to the end, I know that a lot of people just go straight to the end, have this super stylized character, and just kind of use symbol drawing, and it works for them. And as much as I don't want it to work for them, like not because I hate them or anything, but because my principle says otherwise, like as much as I want that, they're still successful. Like I touched on this a bit in my last video about anatomy, where I'm just like, maybe you don't need good anatomy because there's tons of people that get away with it. And just by the very phrase get away with it, like implies that they're doing something wrong when they might not necessarily be. Because if their goal in life is just to make a comic, and I bring up Lavender Town because I know she was talking once that she made her style because she wanted it to be easy to draw. And like, who am I to say that that's wrong? Who am I to say that you need to do anything, especially when you're talking about someone who's way more successful than you? And that is basically my struggle with survivorship bias, where I want to give you my opinions on things, but I know in the end that they're just my opinions and no one needs to follow them whatsoever, and they're going to be contradicted 10,000 times. And that's where I struggle, and that's kind of why I deleted half of my YouTube library, even like my most popular videos, because I felt that they were just too, like, this is what you have to do to become a famous webcomic artist. Like, such bullshit. Like, I'm not a famous webcomic artist. I'm like a low-tier webcomic drawer, writer group of people, and I can only give you my experiences. So all of that is to say, just don't feel bad about your approach to things, okay? Don't let someone tell you that you're like inherently wrong, but like have your mind open to different ideas at the same time. All of this can kind of bring you closer to whatever your idea of success is. Defining like your intention for your artwork is very important, especially when you're just dealing with the endless amounts of art advice that is out there. But when you're dealing with the endless amounts of art advice that is out there, you really need to just define your intention. Do you just want to have fun with art? Don't let people tell you you can't just have fun at art. If that is your idea of success, have at it. I find the fixation on all these different things that make your art better kind of ignores the fact of people's own experience. Let me explain this better. When I first started writing, it was terrible. My writing was terrible. It was like self-indulgent and awful. But fixating on things that make writing better, fixating on things that make art better, eventually improved my artwork. But would grammar studies inspire me to do writing? Like, would exercises inspire me to continue writing? I don't know if they would have, because I hated doing those exercises. I despised them. And maybe it's okay to kind of despise doing your anatomy studies and despise doing gesture studies for a while. Maybe you just need to explore and have fun for a long time before you actually fall upon anything rigorous. But what do I know? I just think people are too hard about their mistakes sometimes. Their quote unquote mistakes, the time they spent when they weren't good. And saying that this part of themselves isn't important in their development as an artist. It isn't as important. But who knows? We don't know, because we're all on the other side of things at this point, and there's no actual way to go about doing it. And that's literally how I feel. I'm just like, how do we know that this is the right way to art? We don't, unfortunately. And thank you for listening to this kind of ramble thing. I've just been thinking a lot, and I hope you don't take any of my advice too seriously if you don't need to. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. I love you all. Bye.